My name is Sean Blevins. I am the Vice President for SAP General Business here at Yash. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about raising the bar on your valued added reseller and AMS support partner. So as a value added reseller, or VAR, it's important for that and for your support of your landscape that you are getting what you pay for and that you're not paying too much. So we're going to take a few minutes. We're going to talk about how Yash is resetting those expectations for customers and why customers are moving from either SAP or another partner to Yash Technologies. If you've got some questions, be sure and put those questions, raise your hand or post your questions in the questions tab. We'll be taking these as we go forward. The goal today is to just give you a really quick overview so you understand what is the difference and why customers are making these changes. So hopefully you can see my screen. A little bit about Yash in general. Yash is now 4,500 employees. We're based in East Moline, Illinois. 21 years with SAP. We are among the largest SAP service providers globally. We'll talk more about our customers in just a moment. But the main thing to understand about Yash is that we're different. And we're different in how we serve customers that have an SAP investment. We are not opportunistic or functionally driven. We're looking for a long-term, holistic relationship based on your goals, based on your ability to grow. We even work with other partners for certain transaction sets. But we want to be a responsible, accountable partner to you for your services, for your support, for your innovation, for the ideas on what's innovative with SAP, what's working with other customers in your industry and in your revenue size. So it's a different approach. It's a more of a marathon approach than a sprint. It's not a transactional approach. It's very much about being there and never leaving. And we'll talk more about how we do that with different customers. What should you really expect? Why are we seeing customers move to Yash? Most customers, when they come to a webinar, they want to get the juice. They want to understand exactly why they're on there and what's the difference that they should expect. So I want to go through these very clear differences. And again, if you have questions, feel free to raise your hand or just put it in the chat box. First of all, there's the Bill of Rights. These are the things that we hold the bar at for all of our customers for AMS and as well as value added reseller or being our VAR. The first one is the industry's highest SLA, even for the smallest companies in the general business space. We have a $5 million company at Mina Health, and they're getting exactly the same SLA as Stanley or Monsanto or John Deere. So that is a 24/7, 365 support. We never say no, we never close, versus what we see from other partners, particularly in this space, which is an 8-hour day, 5 days a week, right? If you try to get them on the weekend, you try to get them after 8 o'clock at night, you're going to have to wait till the next day. And we understand business is global. We understand the small business goal is to get global, to expand their markets, and that they need and demand, regardless of what the revenue is, 24/7 by 365 support. And just as important, if you're familiar with SAP, you can go into and pull out from your landscape what's called an EWA, an early watch alert. And it shows you what are the disconnects, what are the differences across those landscapes between what's been patched, what's been fixed, what service packs have been released, what guidance has come out from SAP that's not been implemented in your particular instance or across your platform. And those recommendations, on average, are required by SAP to be provided along with that early watch alert on a quarterly basis. Well, Yash does it once a month. That means every 30 days, we bring you up to date. We give you the recommendations. We say, here are the things that need to be fixed. Here are the actions you should be taking to optimize your SAP investment. You don't wait 3 months. 3 months is a lifetime in business. Very important that you understand that it's a competitive advantage to have proactive fixes and recommendations on a monthly basis. It's what drives growth in your business. And it also limits surprises when you're there for looking at your licenses and audit comes around, because then you find out, oh, well, here's opportunities I had where I'm not using pieces of functionality that might have saved me from having to buy all new product. The third one is this idea of a proactive pre-audit license protection. So every year SAP will audit its customers for proper licensing. 6 weeks prior to that, if you're a Yash customer, we work with you. and we look at your licenses and we say, these are the ones that you're not using or that you've overbought. These are the ones that can be converted from one user type to another. Here's where you have shelfware that you might be able to use for another investment or for some other purpose. All that takes place 6 weeks to an audit. Why is that important to you? Well, because as a partner, as your value-added reseller, we have discount. You can apply those discounts if you need to purchase additional license prior to your SAP audit. Once SAP's audit's underway, they don't allow those discounts. So the ability to do that 6 weeks prior makes a happy customer. It makes a no surprise audit. It also optimizes and saves you thousands, or in some cases tens of thousands of dollars that you just wouldn't have if a partner is not being proactive and really attentive to what your landscape looks like. As we said above with the EWA, if we see anything come down the line that impacts you, whether it be a ERP situation, a business objects, success factors, hybris, any of these, proactively fixing all the patches, applying the service notes, applying all the different parts of this, that's all part of our support package. And just as important in that, many of our customers in the smaller customer space, they don't have the resources to fully stand up their own solution manager. So solution manager is the product that manages your solution. It manages the SAP landscape and the investment, and it's a fairly complex, multi-layered product to roll out. Yash has its own solution manager, fully optimized instance that we can snap your landscape into and provide ongoing concierge of your solution and process documentation as well. And what that means to you is no surprises. We can see the entire process, the whole solution, solution, the way it's configured, and help you continually optimize that. That's something that's usually, 2 or 3 headcount to try and stand up your own version and manage and maintain solution manager. So those headcount are all part of your standard solution support package with Yash. We also have multi-channel escalation paths. So we have the human path, the automation path, but we will do these in concert. We will make sure that based on the urgency of the need and the escalation, we will make sure that SAP is responsive through these multiple channels. Now, I'm going to stop here for just a second. If you're not getting every one of these 7 things, if you're not getting 24/7, 365, you're not getting monthly watch alerts, if you're not getting proactive pre-audit protection, if you're not proactively applying fixes, if you don't have your own optimized solution manager landscape run with us with full solution and process documentation, if you don't have escalation SAP across multiple channels, if you're not getting that kind of attention, you're probably paying too much and you're probably getting too little. That's where the bar should be set. So why Yash? Why do we do this? Obviously we do this across 2,200 consultants. We have over 100 implementations across the large and the medium segment. The reality is that no matter what part of SAP, whether it be the big data, we just purchased a big data firm that does analytics and predictive and data science, 45 data scientists there. As far as being S/4HANA Lighthouse Cloud part, we'll talk more about that. We are deeply committed. Over 90% of our business is SAP. So we understand the entire, if you will, universe of SAP, as well as all the emerging products like S/4HANA, Hybris, and so on. So the holistic approach that we take in dealing with SAP from an AMS and VAR perspective has to do with, we're here to see you grow by 5x, 10x, 20x, leveraging SAP versus trying to sell you, one little thing on the menu and then, make a quick transaction. So you'll see that in the way that we service and the way we work with you as your VAR. Here's an example from how we roll out and deal as a one-stop shop, as a holistic provider, from being a strategic partner to our assessment roadmaps, to our software licensing, to the ability to provide hosting. We are an advanced tier AWS partner, the only one in the GV space that also has SAP and big data certification. So we are flexible and open. We're not prescriptive. If you just say, I want to run SAP on HANA Enterprise Cloud, we are certified in that. We have customers that we're supporting to do that. If you want to run HANA on SAP Cloud Platform, or you want to run it in AWS or Azure, we've got customers doing that as well. So all these different implementation types, the flexibility in the way we engage with you the overall non-compromise maintenance support, both level 1 and level 2, and all the certifications to back that up. That's Yash in a nutshell. Newest thing on the plate right here is this S4 HANA Cloud Lighthouse Program Leadership. So we've been recognized as a global charter member. We're running S4 HANA Cloud Professional Service Edition internally. We're standing that up. We've been asked for our thought leadership to for additional prospects. Right now we've got about 5 prospects that are going live with S4 HANA Cloud. So it isn't just that we're here to take care of your maintenance for your existing landscape. As it fits your needs, as you're trying to move to the cloud and determine whether it's an SAP product or it's an on-premise product that needs to go into AWS and be managed, it doesn't matter to us. What matters is your business goals and what you're trying to accomplish. Here's an example of our HANA expertise from our COE, our migration services, our analytics, the ability to manage all of the different approaches to HANA, the ability to handle the R layer from an analytics perspective, data science perspective, as well as the front end on Fiori and dealing with personas. Whatever you need in the HANA world, we have a live customer times 5 to do it. You know, one of the things I would say about Yash, having spent 12 years at SAP, Yash are the doers. They are the implementers. They are the people with the mind trust, right? They don't bring their frameworks and their methodologies. What we really seek to do is bring the best practices that are working across the customer set to SAP. And that may seem like a small difference. It's actually a very large difference. When you do it the way SAP's found it works in a particular industry segment, and you don't apply a bunch of brain power beyond that, then you don't have to unwind something when it doesn't work for a customer. You can stick with a very lean, functional set of processes and capabilities that are always best practice according to what SAP customers are doing. So we're not adding frameworks and methodologies on top of that. It's a very important point. Just as important is kind of we'll call it the breadth and depth here. So whether it's success factors, and you see the customers are doing very, the success factors is not just a point solution, it's a suite from recruiting to e-learning to the employee center to the way you're handling benefits, the way you're doing succession planning. Those are very comprehensive projects, and you see the customers are working with on that, just that kind of one suite element. And at the same time, we're business by design. So we're doing fulfillment for companies for business by design. Business by design is a very blueprinted, turnkey in the cloud solution from SAP that needs to be rapidly implemented. And that's something we're doing for hub, sub, here's your headquarters, and then you've got subsidiaries around the world. Those are companies that we're bringing fulfillment and go live for by design. So if you need support for ERP on HANA, or you need support for cloud solutions for SAP, and you're looking to go into a low-cost, highly scalable solution like AWS, here are the customers that we do that for as well. So whether it's ECC 6.0 or it's S4 HANA, or you're just looking to move to HANA from, say, an Oracle database or Microsoft database, moving your company into the cloud means you need a partner that has uncompromised, fully accountable support first, that they make that the priority, that they get you there and they get you running right. They're not focused on trying to sell you a bunch of licenses as much as they're there to see that you grow at your pace and make sure it works. And that's what you'll hear from the companies and the case studies that we'll share here on this page. But the biggest thing that I would say sets apart Yash as your support provider and your VAR is that we never leave. If you talk to the customers on this page, you'll see that they started out in some cases with just simple staff augmentation. Then they began to look at us and ask us questions about how they would improve their processes, increase the value and the impact of their investments. Then they began a more strategic, focused relationship on international growth, dealing with very specific situations on the shop floor, across their customer fulfillment, distribution, digital sales processes. Then they began to get proactive with us and build strategic partnerships on predictive analytics, on BobJ in the cloud. How would we begin to be proactive in finding opportunities with them? So that whole thing is very real. That whole stair step is extremely real. So whether you need SAP and you just want some staff augs, a basis developer, a Hybris developer that understands and is really good, you need a technical data architect in this business value add segment, or you need some people that can come in and really help outsource your SAP investment, as we talked about at the beginning, and be accountable for running it and growing it on a global basis and being predictive in the way that we go at your business and finding those opportunities for growth. All of those things are things that Yash does. But the goal here, as you see Jose Carvalho from Vita Coco said, it was all about solving very specific things to manage the business efficiently. His business evolves. Every business evolves. We're there to assist and be expertise around the evolution and the growth of your business. That's why we never leave. And that's what really sets us apart. We're not there for the moment. We're there for the long term. Here's an example of customers in our BI segment. You can see these. You recognize several of these, I'm sure, from small, medium, and large. The goal here is we support BI with our AMS and with our VAR in the same manner. We're making huge investments, as we mentioned. We've acquired a company with 45 data scientists that's really focused on predictive analytics. So let me give you an example with EMI Yoshi. EMI Yoshi is a perfect example of how Yash came in, where another partner had sold software. They had sold a transaction, and at the same time, they had not serviced very well. And when we walked in the door, they had a 6-month backlog of ledgers that could not be accurately closed. They had open tickets everywhere that had resulted from the 6-month accounting backlog. There were process questions in financials, process questions in the way they did unit measurements. And the idea here was their foreign currency in particular was what was holding things up. They had a maintenance, their account maintenance, their chart of accounts was difficult. All those other ledgers, the partner had went in and just basically sold the software, and then in implementation, their expertise bottomed out. So what did we do? Well, first of all, we cleaned the 6-month accounting backlog. We implemented warehouse management. We fixed the currency issues. We went in and solved for those particular areas of support where they needed. Did we see any money? Well, we saw some support dollars, but the reality is we solved for the problem first before we started trying to sell anything new. So the result was we got them back on track. We got rid of all those currency issues. We enhanced the freight calculations, got rid of this unit of measurement issue and conversion issues. We dealt with all these currency challenges that were holding up their closing the books. We turned this around. We did it in about 4.5 weeks, and now they have become an amazing customer. Their growth's back on track. They're no longer waiting to close their books. And that's an example real quick of how we make this Bill of Rights real. So what I ask for you to do in the next 2 or 3 minutes is think about areas of your business where you're just not seeing the proactive attention and support that you deserve, frankly, that you're paying for. And it usually falls into one of these 7 here, where you're not getting a proactive approach around support, where you're not getting watch alerts, so you're surprised by things that get hung up, or you're not seeing a documented process there. You click a URL and you can see your processes and see how if you want to make a change, there's someone to talk about what the impact of that is and how you go about it. That's what support is. Support is accountability. Support is accountability at the price that you deserve. So how do you test this? How do you know if we're telling you the truth? Well, most customers ask us, well, how can I taste and see? So we recommend that you start a trial and then you actually see the difference. And we've got 5 different ways to do this. We call them quick start options. These are ways to accelerate and test. The first one is, if you're out there and you have a current value-added reseller and you're buying your licenses from them, well, we all have the ability to discount. We have the ability to look at your licenses. It may have been a week, 6 months, a year, multiple years since you actually had someone do an optimization review and give you some idea of what you could be paying versus what you should be paying, what your licenses are. Are you, in the situation with the cloud, a lot of these named users and developer users, they're changing. The way they title and blend these users together is really changing. And there's opportunities for savings. There's also opportunities for overpaying. So that's one quick start option, is do a very quick VAR license optimization preview and discount summary. It's a simple report, get back from us, and you can have it in about 3 days. The second one is we will look at your landscape, run it through our tool sets, our solution manager tool sets, and we'll give you back a solution and process documentation preview. So you take a process, we'll pick one together, and we'll find a process to document so that you can get some idea of what it's like to have world-class concierge solution and process documentation. So we'll give that to you as a free trial, and you can see exactly how that works. A lot of customers look at that as a way when they're looking to go to the cloud, they're looking to change their environment. This is a great way to do that. The third way is, we mentioned we do monthly watch alerts. We'll do a watch alert with you. We'll pull a watch alert. We'll give you some recommendations. Let's just see what it's like to be proactively served across your current landscape. It also gives us an idea of recommendations to maybe save you money in the cloud. So that's another great trial to do that. And then if none of those fit, the quick start here for addressing a selected issue. You might be like EMI Yoshi, where you have very specific issues in closing your books, or dealing with multi-currency, or dealing with unit of measure, or trying to integrate between this app and SAP. There's something very specific we can help with. So give us an opportunity to do that. That can take the shape of some free hours, maybe a bucket of hours, lower standard rate from us. Taste and see that we know what we're doing, that we're confident across, John Deere, Stanley Black & Decker, Monsanto, Vita Coco, all these large companies, medium companies, and small companies. We have probably seen that problem before, can quickly fix it. It's about focus to your need in a very specific way of fixing a couple of selected issues. So give us that opportunity. And the last one is just really simple. If you're looking at SAP and it's not running the way you think it should, and you haven't deployed Solution Manager, we have two options. You can run SAP like a factory. We'll actually take the shelfware or the software very, very cheaply. We will roll out and deploy Solution Manager and maintain it for you in your environment, and it's your instance of Solution Manager. Or we'll take your environment and your landscape, and we'll plug it into our Solution Manager instance and proactively manage it. We can do either one of those and let you taste that for a period of time and let you see how that works. So you got 5 different options for tasting and seeing if Yash is all that we say it is. But in every case, the goal is simple. We want to demonstrate the difference between the service and the VAR experience you're getting today from either SAP or a partner, and what you're going to get from Yash. Now the good news is, if we don't tell you the truth, if we're not doing exactly what we say, you can always switch back. We haven't seen that happen with us, but we'd love to have the opportunity to take a shot at giving you more for less. Because the reality is, because of the volume and because of frankly our expertise in doing this end of the swimming pool, this end of what we're trying to do here, and the focus that we put to it, we become very adept and very affordable because we understand that it's about focus. It's about doing the right kinds of things with every customer. So with that, I'll open it up if there's any questions. I'd love to hear them. So with that, I'm going to end the webinar, and I appreciate your time today. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. We'd love to take you through one of these 5 quick start options, and we'll be back in touch over the next coming weeks to talk to you about new options and new opportunities to give Yash the ability to work with you. Thank you, and have a great afternoon.